All right, we go from record warmth yesterday to our first potential snow event. Good morning, I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Dell here with your Thursday morning web forecast, and it's going to be a quick hitting event, but as we head overnight tonight into the early morning hours tomorrow from Wilson County on up to Bertie County, this corridor is where we do have the chance of seeing some wintry precipitation. Basically, my advice is if you're not in blue, this storm is not for you, as we are going to be looking at a narrow band of the potential for some snowfall. I think it's probably about a 2 or 3 hour window, comes down a pretty fast, hard thump. However, as warm as the ground temperatures are, we're not really going to accumulate anything other than on the grassy surfaces. Here's my Storm Track 12 forecast for you for the day today. Some spots are stuck in the clouds like we saw yesterday. Other spots have got sunshine right now. We'll gradually see the clouds build back in from northwest to southeast. It could be a spotty shower anytime during the day as you get north of Kenansville to Washington line. Temps, though, upper 60s, potentially near 70 degrees across Jacksonville and Pender County. We'll probably be stuck into the low 50s, though, as you get up into Martin and Bertie County. And that's the area where we are going to look at that changeover. I'm thinking from about 1 o'clock until 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. And there's about a 2 or 3 hour window that we have as far as that thumping snow getting going in there. Now, as far as what we're dealing with here, northerly wind on the front side of the front, where we got Richlands, New Bern, and Havelock calm winds. That's where the front is. And then notice southwesterly winds bringing that warmth in below it. Now, that front's going to continue to drop southbound, and here is the reason why. As up the jet stream level here, we've got this cutoff upper level low pressure. This is a pocket of cold air. And you'll notice the intense cold air remains bottled up here across the northern stream. But the northern stream is actually capturing this and bringing it along with it. So as this ejects out over us here in eastern Carolina, that is going to dictate as far as the track of the storm and also the track of where the heaviest snow, again, more so flying through the air, is going to look pretty. It's more psychological than meteorological as far as the damage from the storm system is concerned. Now that lifts out. And you notice as we head into the weekend, future track here, the jet stream level does show that we get more of a westerly flow starting to develop, so we warm things back up. But lurking here in southern Canada is the return of the cold air, and we're going to see a couple Arctic fronts charge southbound here. Notice as we go through Sunday and Monday, even into Tuesday, the cold air comes in across the northern United States. Our air, instead of coming out of the Rockies, is now coming out of central Canada. So the cold air is going to be here to stay at least for the next week or so. And as a result, we've got a couple threats of potentially, definitely cold air coming in here, and if not, a couple snow events here. Now, remember where we saw that cutoff upper level low over Jackson, Mississippi? Guess what? That's where the snow is being reported for this morning. It's not that surge of rainfall you see out ahead of it working through Atlanta and that band we've seen here for the last week or so. It's what that upper level low is going to do as it merges with that front here. So you will notice that as you get this morning, north and west of the Kenansville to Washington line, we've got the clouds locked in, and south of that is where we do have the sunshine. So as I mentioned earlier, if you're not in Pitt, Martin, Greene, Bertie County, this storm is not for you. We don't have to worry about any snow along the beach. In fact, you can see future track here shows a decent amount of sunshine going into the early afternoon hours here before the clouds come back in, maybe a spotty shower around sunset. Then as we go through the evening hours here, the rain will start to pick up in intensity as that low comes out of the Gulf of Mexico area, basically tracks right over Goldsboro, just north of Greenville, headed over towards Ahoskie. And as a result, we do potentially see that changeover as that pocket of cold air at the upper levels, a dynamic cooling, is going to cool the column. And what that will basically do is we'll actually see it go from rain to snow from top to bottom. And again, I think it's a 1 or 2 hour, maybe 3, depending on how quickly it moves. Quick, hard thumping that's in and it's out and it's moving on. And you'll notice by the time we hit sunrise tomorrow morning, system's off the coast and we've got nothing but sunshine, but blustery temperatures for tomorrow afternoon. So generally, Wilson County headed over to northern Pitt County, Martin, Bertie. This is where we have the chance on grassy surfaces, an inch or so. Well, we'll say ½ inch to an inch. Again, a lot of this is going to melt before it reaches the ground. We're just not going to be able to keep that cold air at the ground level for it to stick to the roadways. Bridges and overpasses, those could be a little treacherous, so keep that in mind. But you may see some flakes in the air, Duplin County, Lenoir County, Craven County. It's not going to be that big of a deal, not anticipating any accumulation in these counties. Here's the timeline we're looking at between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. That's when we see that changeover coming from a heavy rain into a quick, hard thumping snow with those big, fat, wet snowflakes, maybe some minor accumulation on the grassy surfaces, and then we clear out as we head on through sunrise. There's the charge of that cold air. Brief, sharp Arctic shot coming in here for Friday, warming back up with sunshine all the way through the weekend, and then you'll notice one Arctic front come through Sunday night into Monday, the second one coming Tuesday going into Wednesday, as we've got some cold air that is going to be with us for the second half of January here. We'll be here early tomorrow morning, continuing to keep you updated on this snow event, as well as throughout our many platforms, Facebook, YouTube. We'll continue to keep you updated here. I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Still.